Today on Independent Wrestling Profiles, we're talking with the Ghost Ricky Mortis. Let's go way back to the beginning, okay? What's kind of like your earliest memory of discovering professional wrestling? And if you can kind of recall what it was about wrestling that like drew you to it.
So my earliest memory, that's so it's definitely watching wrestling with my dad. We used to watch Raw. I never watched SmackDown as a kid. It was only Raw for some reason. I didn't even know anything else existed. And we would watch the reruns on the Tuesday at like 5 o'clock during supper. And the oldest memory is The Rock, honestly. I just vividly remember him cutting promos and just destroying everybody on the mic. I'm pretty sure he was a heel at the time, but my dad loved him. My dad always loved the heels. So that's kind of probably the earliest memory. But ever since I was a baby, my dad was watching it. My he wanted to name me Austin as a kid. And my mom, I'm born in 1999. My mom shut that one down real quick. But yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. Watching it with my dad, wrestling with my brother. After that, we got a trampoline not long after that, and it just would go on from there.
Would you say that The Rock was one of your favorites, or were there some others? Because when I think of the Ghost, I feel like there's a little bit more of like a grittiness to it than what The
Mhm.
Rock would have put forward. And I have to imagine that maybe, there was some other characters that are more inspirational towards that. Like who were some of the favorites that you really gravitated towards?
So I love The Rock, but he wasn't one of my favorites. He was, like I said, he was my dad's favorite, so that's kind of what got me into it. But quickly, I gravitated towards Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys. I have a Hardy Boys tattoo on my arm.
Oh,
Huge Hardy Boys guy. Eddie Guerrero was another one. Kurt Angle. Loved Kurt Angle as a kid because he was hilarious and he didn't mind making fun of himself, but then he'd get in the ring and it was game time. Right? That's kind of what my favorite thing about wrestling was, how you can go from comedy and then serious from a flip of the switch, right?
yeah, that versatility is absolutely entertaining. Now, you said shortly after you guys got a trampoline. I have to imagine that that led to, despite the warnings, you were trying this stuff at home. Was it like immediately sparked inside of you that like this is something that I want to be, participating in some way?
100%. I ended up asking for a video camera for Christmas right after getting a trampoline, specifically just to make YouTube videos of my own trampoline promotion and all that with my buddies. And it's pretty cool because the buddies that I did that with are now they're watching me and supporting me do that, and they're like, "Dude, it's been since we were kids that we wanted to do that, and now I'm living it." Right?
Many of us, I'm sure a ton of us have tried it at home. I
Mhm.
remember going to like a carnival where they had like a blow up bouncy place where somebody gave me a
Yeah.
pedigree. And, we all did that, but not all of us took that extra step to actually pursue it. Do you
Mhm.
remember kind of the trigger event where you were at in life where you were just like, you know what, I'm actually going to go and stop thinking about this and go seek out that training?
Yeah, I honestly remember the exact moment. It was so I was a pure WWE guy growing up, and I got into TNA a little bit later with one of my neighbors, but I didn't know anything else existed. I didn't know indie wrestling was a thing. I didn't know there was wrestling in my hometown, that's for sure. Like, I had no clue at all. And it just makes me think about all the wrestling fans that don't know we have wrestling locally. But one of my coworkers at the time, he was telling me that he was going to a wrestling show. And that's kind of like sparked me. I was like, wrestling show? Like, what are you talking about here? Like, And what kind of wrestling we talking? And it was a North Pro show. So I ended up going with him to a North Pro show at the Tide and Boar. And first show, I seen like Dick Durning, Marco Estrada, Moondog, Sabotage, all those guys for the very first time. And my mind was blown. And then right then and there, I told my coworker, I go, I'm doing this. Like, I'm going to find a way to do this. That's the day. The first time I noticed there was local wrestling, I've I had to find a way. And obviously, your phone listens to you. So the algorithm on my phone, the next day, it was telling me that there was a new training school opening up in my hometown. So right away, I was like, oh man, that's perfect. And started training literally like a month after that, right when they opened.
Can you take me through a little bit about just the starting days of getting into training, kind of maybe the differences between what you were expecting and what was going on, some of the things that you found challenging, or maybe things that came naturally to you. Like what was the kind of like response to actually going and putting your body in the ring for the first time and starting to like go through the reps?
I've played sports my whole life, competitive sports, hockey, football, soccer. I've played pretty much every sport. So I was expecting the athletic stuff to be kind of a little bit easier,
Hmm.
but it's a whole different beast. Once you get in that ring, it's a whole different beast, man. Like people say you can have the best cardio in the world, but taking 10 bumps in a row is a whole different type of cardio,
Hmm.
right? Like you can't prepare your body for that. So that was definitely a kind of surprise for that. I had to kind of step my body into gear a little bit better. And yeah, that's I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, the rest was just I was just ready to learn as much as I could and just be a sponge with all my coaches. Like I said, I didn't even really know my coaches because I didn't watch local wrestling.
Hmm.
So I didn't they were advertising these people and I had no idea who they were. To me, wrestling is wrestling. I'm just going to learn from everybody type thing. And I still use that mentality now because even my original coaches, I take advice from everybody backstage. I have people that I consider my coaches, and technically, I've never paid them a dime for them to teach me nothing, but I still view them like that because of everything they taught me. So I guess it's just soaking up everything like a sponge, and yeah,
So take me through the journey to the first match. How long are you training? What does it feel like to get the notification that like, hey, your name is on this card and you're going to be finally putting all of this into practice, maybe in front of some of your friends, and actually doing a match?
my first match was actually supposed to be a year earlier than what it actually was. I had a match booked up with IPW at the time, which is where most of my classmates made their debut, which is where I was going to make my debut as well. But I ended up breaking my ankle in training.
Oof.
Yeah. Played sports my whole life, never got a major injury. Wrestling, 3 months in, broke my ankle. It was because my own fault. I did something stupid. I decided to backflip off the top rope just
As
because I
as one
just
would.
because I could. I was just like, I used to backflip off stuff. I can do this. Landed it technically, but snatched my ankle, destroyed it in the process. So I was out for 10 months. So that delayed everything. So while all my other classmates and friends now were still training, I was just showing up in crutches, listening, still absorbing everything. And then a year later, I finally got my match with wrestling in Windsor was my debut.
Mhm.
Um, and that is ran by Cody Uno Ucho. And it was actually my coach, John O'Ryan, who got me that booking. He just brought me over, I guess. And yeah, it was definitely nerve wracking. I was gassed out after my entrance because I was so hyped up to go out there. First time, so the nerve. People don't realize that like the anxiety gasses you out just as much as everything else. Like Yeah, it was something.
I gotta ask, like, was there any time for you to actually get to sit back during that match, after the match, and just kind of take in the moment and realize, like, all this work, the 10 months on the shelf, everything that you have been aspiring for, like, you finally got to do it. Like, there must have even been just like a sigh of relief at some point there.
Yeah, I definitely didn't really feel it until I got home that night because it's a 3 hour drive from my hometown. So we
Hmm.
drove back 3 hours and the adrenaline was just pumping. I didn't sleep at all that night. Got home in my bed and I was just thinking about all the things I did, reviewing the match in my head. I had one of my buddies record it, so I was able to get the recording of the match the night of. So I'm rewatched it like a million times, stayed up all night, and at the end, I don't even like the match anymore because I watched it so many times. I'm just criticizing every single thing I was doing. But after that, once I started getting bookings regularly, the mindset going into matches, like once I'm in Gorilla about to go out, it's more like, wow, like I'm doing this. This is what I was born to do. This is what I'm putting the work in. Like basically that's how I get rid of my nerves right before I go out is just the self-talk of telling myself that I worked for this. And then as soon as I go out, it's game time, baby.
So I love that mentality. Now, I do want to ask though, just kind of jumping back to like breaking your ankle before your first match,
Yeah.
sitting on the shelf for 10 months, like there's got to be like a real mental game there to like stay motivated, to not get discouraged. Like, was it difficult to kind of sit on the sidelines and see people continuing to make progression and you just having to kind of put like like hit the pause button on what you've always wanted?
Yeah, honestly, it was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. The first Well, when I found wrestling, it was like I finally found something that I was meant to do. I
Mhm.
felt perfect. It felt like everything was put in place and felt like my life was finally going uphill again. And then all of a sudden that happens. So it kind of felt like it was all just kind of taken away from me. I didn't know if I was going to be able to wrestle again. Um, I have like 90% mobility in my ankle now.
Mhm.
So they say like as long as you keep working at it, then I should be good. But there's always those question marks. So it was a hard time. The first few months were rough. But then I kind of kicked myself in the ass a little bit. And I had friends that were kind of telling me like to not give up. They stayed in my corner. And then during the whole second half of that injury, um, I started I started putting myself on a diet. I was working out only my upper body because I couldn't do lower body, and I got into the best shape of my life just sitting on the bed. I ended up working out.
That's awesome. I have to imagine one of the other things that it gives you an opportunity to do when you have to step away from some of the physical is to put a little bit more thought into the mental game involved with
Mhm.
wrestling and maybe even a bit of like how you wanted to present yourself. So, like the ghost, the persona of Ricky Mortis, was there kind of like an original idea for that that evolved into it? Like, how did you kind of perceive yourself to the audience in that sense? And how did that evolve over time?
No previous idea. Honestly, it's just me. Like it's really just me turned up to the next level. When all the wrestling podcasts I've watched, that's all people say. Don't try too hard to make a gimmick. Don't try too hard to be something you're not. So that was the main thing. I mean, I come out with a bucket hat and a baseball jersey on. I literally collect jerseys and have a bunch of bucket hats. So it wasn't people were like, "Oh, how'd you find your look?" Because I dress like this all the time, right? Just how I am. My dad has a big beard down to his freaking his chest, so the beard was coming with wrestling or not, right? Like it just kind of happened, I guess. Yeah, it's just who I am. I mean, I got Ready to Die tattooed on me, so the ghost, the living dead, like that stuff wasn't too far gone. My favorite band is the Flatbush Zombies. So it's
Yeah.
all kind of metal, dark, kind of the same thing as the Ghost, right? Like it kind of just all came naturally, honestly.
So then, if it's possible, could you perhaps summarize the idea that you would like somebody who maybe has never seen you perform? Like, can you describe who the ghost, who Ricky Mortis is to somebody who is maybe going to see you at a show? Like,
Yeah,
what's the thought that you would want them to have about you and to leave the show, leave the venue with a lasting impression of you with?
yeah. So the whole point of the Ghost, um, obviously, it's not that I'm a real ghost.
No.
It's people call me the Ghost because my ego is dead. I'm dead on the inside. So at the end of the day, it's that nothing really matters to me other than wrestling. Um, Everything can be put aside. Winning doesn't matter. Losing doesn't matter. It's just wrestling. That's all it is. It's all about wrestling, and just I guess the persona of my ego being dead is just kind of showing that nothing can get in the way. I'm never going to be too good for this business. I'm never going to think I'm the best. I can always learn. I can always pick things up. It's always an evolving business. It's always just being open to the possibilities of everything. And
Wow.
that's kind of what how I live my life, honestly. One day at a time and just figure it out.
That's really profound. Like, you're not a wrestler, you are wrestling. And
Mm-hmm.
that is all that there is. There's no positive, negative, there's no emotion. It's just you are the industry. I love that. I love that. Absolutely. So if I was to ask you to look back at your career thus far,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the highlights that come to mind, like most immediately? Not necessarily matches, could be matches, but maybe fan interactions, maybe some advice you got into a locker room, somebody that you just, you hung on to their every word. Like, what are some of the greatest things that wrestling has given you thus far?
Number one, I would definitely say friendship and the camaraderie that it built. Like the amount of people I've met and the amount of people that I now trust to be someone in my life. That I now trust to see. Like if you could ask a bunch of people, you can ask a bunch of fans if I had a good match, and they'll all say yes. Most likely, if the match is bad or good, or you know what I mean, just to kind of to tell you what you're. They don't want to make you feel bad, if that makes sense. But
Hmm.
I trust that I have people out there that are gonna that care about me and that they know how much I care about this business. And if there's something that doesn't look good, something that's I did wrong, that they're gonna tell me and correct me on it, so then I can be a better wrestler. Because at the end of the day, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not looking for some no yes men in my life, right? I want people that are gonna push me to the next level. That's kind of just what I wanted in my life. I mean, like wrestling kind of gives you um like I'm ready to dedicate my whole life to this. I have been for the past 3 years, and I'm ready to do it for the foreseeable future. Um, so I feel like yeah, just being with the people, just showing out for the business. I mean, giving you it kind of gives you something to look back on. Like I'll be able to rewatch all my videos, all the matches. Um, if I do ever have kids, grandkids, to pass that on, right? I mean, it's just something that started as a pastime that just became something I love and something I can't live without, honestly.
All right, so take me through some of the bucket list items. Not necessarily long term, but like in the near future. Is there some destinations you want to travel to, some companies that you'd want to work for, some people that you'd still love to square up with, just kind of maybe, in the next year or two that are a little bit more immediate? Because I'm sure that there's probably an endless answer to that question, but just kind of like at the front of your mind.
So I definitely want to wrestle outside the Maritimes. I haven't wrestled outside the Maritimes yet. I've traveled all around Atlantic Canada. That's pretty much it. So that's definitely a bucket list there. For people who I want to wrestle, I'll keep it locally because it's more likely to happen within the next couple of years. But Chip Chambers is definitely on the top of that list, and Hollywood Cole would be on top of that list as well. I wrestled both of them in a trios match lately, but to get them on a one-on-one would be special, and I think I would learn a lot from just being in the ring with them, win or lose.
So I'm a firm believer of putting things out there in the universe. So is there a couple names outside of the Maritimes that I don't care how unrealistic it is, let's just put it out there and hope the universe finds it?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I mean, there is one that kind of travels to the Maritimes every once in a while. Alex Silva would be, I guess, the more realistic one, but Speedball Mike Bailey would be
Oh.
amazing. I've seen him at North Pro in Moncton.
Mhm.
Dude was next level. I don't think I'm ready yet, but one day I will be fast enough and good enough to keep up with Speedball.
That would be phenomenal. Yeah, I've heard that name as somebody to aspire to for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
you seem to want to keep yourself grounded in reality, but I want to throw that out the window. So, Wrestling Interview 101 cliche question. You have the opportunity to have a match with anybody in the world who is lacing up their boots today. I can sign a magic contract. Tomorrow you are going one-on-one with who is on that contract and why.
Are we talking like people in their primes or like people right now?
Let's say right now, right? Let's just say
Right now.
right now in their current form, no matter
Yeah.
where in the world they are lacing up their boots, just that you could get in the ring with
Oh,
tomorrow.
honestly, I, this is sad to say because I know it's going to be ending soon, but AJ Styles.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, I know the retirement's coming soon. Hopefully not too soon, but he's in my top three wrestlers dead or alive. He's the only one in the top three that can still go. So,
Well, you've piqued my curiosity now. I gotta ask, who are the top three then?
so Jeff Hardy's in there.
I mean, he can still kind of go. Like he can.
Kinda, he can still kind of go, but it just wouldn't be the same, you know. 'Cause we need to do like, yeah, we need to do like ladders and shit if I'm going with Jeff Hardy.
I mean, I feel like the Ghost in one of those scripted matches in the Hardy compound would probably
Oh
be
yeah,
pretty fire,
maybe
right?
with Broken Man or something, Brother
Yeah.
Nero. Oh, I see that. Yeah, I
Okay,
like the
so
vision.
Jeff Hardy and Styles, who's the third one?
And Kurt Angle's number three.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, as proficient as it gets, and able to do the comedy as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, stepping away from the wrestling ring a little bit, like, what is it that you would like to let people know about you on just like a personal level? Hobbies, other interests that you're involved in, just kind of what you do to unwind and step away from the industry when you need to recharge the batteries.
Um, pretty much anime and music, I'd say. I watch a lot of anime, and I collect records, vinyl.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I have a bunch of tattoos. Most of my tattoos are all either wrestling, anime, or music related.
Okay.
So most people pick them out slowly as they're watching me wrestle because they're all on my upper body. But yeah, that's I say that's pretty much it. I'm a nerd.
So, to just kind of piggyback off the favorite wrestlers, are there some favorite animes out there?
Oh yeah, Naruto's up there for sure. Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note. I have a Full Metal Alchemist hand tattoo
Oh,
for all the
man.
Full Metal Alchemist fans out there.
I've thought about Full Metal Alchemist, but I'm intimidated by the number of episodes. So I just kind of stuck to growing up with Dragon Ball, and I'll leave it at that. But
Yeah.
Full Metal is a big one. So, and then you said you collect vinyl. What are some of like your prize pieces?
I have Tupac's live, his last concert live at the House of Blues with Snoop Dogg, recorded on the vinyl. That's probably
Wow.
one of my better ones. Yeah.
Oh man, I think Tupac is the GOAT actually, and I love the Don Colunati 7 Day Theory when he did it
Yeah.
as Machiavelli. That was so good. But that I didn't even know that that record existed.
Neither did I until I seen it, and I was like, "What is this?" And it was pre-recorded, so it's like you could tell it's grimy a little bit because it's live, so you can hear the crowd and stuff. But it almost adds to the record that it sounds so natural, I guess.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let me ask you, you're putting together a bit of a road trip. You're going to be going to a show. Let me know, who are you putting in the car with you and what's on the playlist?
I gotta throw my roommates out there. So I got AWOL in here. I don't know
Okay.
if you know AWOL. So those are me and the AWOL boys together. We make Shadow Agency, so we're a group. And then my other roommate, Star Child. We travel a lot together, and I say those are probably those are the boys. We usually start the trip with some wrestling conversations, but then it usually goes on to some. We like to call it some white girl music to end it off.
What does that mean?
By the end of it, we're all blasting Katy Perry and stuff like that, right?
I mean, it sounds like a blast, but it is not what I was expecting in the slightest.
Oh, it starts with metal and then it slowly transitions to Katy Perry eventually.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the last question I like to ask everybody before we get moving on is a piece of advice. So if you could go back and talk to a younger version of yourself when you were just kind of starting out into the industry, or if somebody came up to you today and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting into wrestling," what's like the most important piece of advice that you think would have benefited you or could benefit somebody else?
I would say listen to everything, but don't take advice from everyone, if that
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah, so keep your ears open because there's a lot of people out there that are gonna help you out and give you good feedback, but there's a lot of people there that are unfortunately the negative side of the wrestling business is that we're all competing for the same spot. So there's some people that will take offense if they think that you are better than them, or they will guide you in the wrong direction. So I would say just surround yourself with the right people and keep your ears open and figure out who those people are. Who are the people that are, you can tell who's looking out for the next generation. When if you're a older vet still doing ring crew, if you're a older vet still talking to the young guys, willing to give free advice. If you're an older guy that doesn't mind losing to a young guy, it's not going to make a fit about it. Because that's what wrestling's about, right? You're putting over the next generation. So, because that's what I want to do. Eventually, I'm going to have to put over the next guys, right? So I guess just yeah, surround yourself with the right people and find those right people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So before we sign out, can you just let people know once again who you are and maybe where they can drop you a follow on socials?
I'm the Ghost Ricky Mortis, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, just the Ghost Ricky Mortis everywhere's.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks for everything. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Independent Wrestling Profiles. Please help out the show if you can with a like, subscription, or review. We'll see you next time.
This program is a proud part of the Swear to Pod Network.